Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the search continues for Kenneth Dehart days after the attack in Tennessee happened. Plus, the Commonwealth is fighting addiction on multiple fronts with new ideas and aid.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. It is 5:33 on February 12th, 2024. Let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Madison. Good morning, everyone. Let's get you out the door. A little bit slow if you were up late watching the game, but hey, we got some fog issues to talk about as well. We've also got to talk about not only a shower threat, but a steadier, heavier rain threat late this afternoon into this evening with a transition to snow overnight. And for those of you with plans for a particular day in the middle of this week, things are looking dry. Temperature-wise this morning, cooler toward Lexington and Louisville. Otherwise, we are in the 40s and now lower 50s as you make your way toward Harlan, sitting at 52. All right, let's look at what's going on visibility-wise. And again, visibility out toward Pike County and down toward Wise, Pea Soup Thick, London to Williamsburg. Visibility 1.5 to 3 miles. The pinpoint Doppler radar. A few showers out across the high terrain there, right along the Virginia border, down toward the Tennessee border. As we broaden things out, things regarding cloud cover lighten up. Actually, the lack thereof of cloud cover. But nonetheless, as we head through the day forward today and we get you out the door, we're going to look at a lot of clouds across the region, calling it mostly cloudy after some of this fog burns off this morning. The risk of a shower until later this afternoon, and a forecast high late in the day as some steady rain comes into play into the lower 50s. All right, how cool do we go for tomorrow? We'll let you know. First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Madison?
Tim, thank you. The search continues for Kenneth Dehart in Blount County, Tennessee. Officials say Dehart shot 2 deputies, killing Deputy Greg McCowan and harming Deputy Shelby Eggers last week. Deputies initially pulled Dehart over for erratic driving in the wrong lane. They say he did not cooperate and eventually fired shots. Right now, there is a $100,000 reward for information to his arrest. But this morning, 2 people accused of trying to help Dehart are due in court. One is Kenneth's brother, Marcus Irving Dehart. Deputies arrested him on Friday. He faces accessory after the fact charges. Deputies arrested Dehart's girlfriend, Carrie Matthews, Thursday night in Sevier County, Tennessee. She also faces accessory after the fact charges. The funeral is this Wednesday at 1. Children can often be overlooked victims of the drug epidemic, with some kids losing one or both parents to drug addiction. Jessica Umbro spoke with one man who says his family-style living arrangement would serve as an alternative to the foster care system for kids whose families have changed due to addiction.
At full capacity, we see possibly 50 children living here on this ranch.
Stillwater's Youth Branch of Appalachia's Executive Director Stephen Smith says his work as a prosecutor led him to take a closer look at the foster care system.
And as a prosecutor, I had seen a lot of children that were basically left in the hands of grandparents, extended family, neighbors, and acquaintances. And in that situation, through COVID, we saw failing health. What do they do when the health does fail, or another situation develops where they can't care for them?
He says his new facility in Gray would serve children impacted by the drug epidemic in Kentucky, who may be placed in secondary care.
This is the type of situation we want to come and assist by giving an alternative to foster care.
He says the organization relies on donations to be funded, both monetary and tangible.
Center College was taking down some dormitories in Danville, Kentucky, and they donated all these beautiful beds out of their dorm that they were tearing down.
Smith says it will be a program where kids can come and go dependent on their situation, with the hope being that the animal-filled ranch will be a stable place for them to call home.
If they go back to try to work things out at home and they have a custodian parent that comes back into the picture, then that's fine. If they need to come back here, they've always got a home.
In Knox County, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Smith says he has been in talks with people in other counties in southeastern Kentucky who say they are interested in creating similar programs in their counties. And Stephen Smith isn't the only person fighting addiction. Governor Andy Beshear is pouring millions of dollars into helping mothers fight addiction. The $6 million grant will go to 17 nonprofits across the state. One of those charities is the Volunteers of America Freedom House in Louisville. Betty Asher is one of the many mothers whose lives they have changed. Asher was pregnant and addicted to drugs. She had the choice of giving birth in jail and giving her son up to the system or entering recovery and raising him. Volunteers of America helped her achieve the latter.
I'm here. I have my baby with me today. Because if not, God knows where he would be at today. If I got this little baby I got to worry about. He's worth everything.
If you or someone you know is in need of recovery housing, you can visit this story on our website at WYMT.com. Hundreds in Pikeville gathered at the Appalachian Wireless Arena to celebrate and raise money for a medical center that has experienced a lot of growth. WYMT's Jack Dimler has more from the Pikeville Medical Center Heart Ball.
An annual celebration added a special reason for the CEO of the Pikeville Medical Center.
In the past, it's been the Heart Gala. This year, it's Speak from the Heart Gala.
Hundreds poured into the Appalachian Wireless Arena to celebrate the growth of the Appalachian Valley Autism Center, which Blackburn says has become the largest of its kind and continues to expand in other locations.
Really is to celebrate the staff and the kids and all the things that Pikeville Medical Center and the AVA Center is able to do for our youngest participants, which is what we call our learners, and then also for the hospital in general.
Celebrating the kids
is that the reason we do this is for the kids. You know, autism, a lot of people look at it as a disability. It's not a disability, it's a different ability. And being able to allow a child to live its best and fullest life by making investments in the child through ABA is really what matters. That's why we're here tonight.
And the lasting impact on the lives and the economy of a community.
But you also look at what it means economically for this region, for families to be able to stay local, not have to travel, not taking money out of their pocket to seek assistance. It speaks volumes of what the mission was and what the intent was. But it's also an economic driver.
A celebration from the heart for the continued growth of a meaningful medical center. In Pikeville, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
Blackburn says while he did not have a goal for how much money he hopes to raise, the goal is to grow the AVA Center as much as they can. The Henry Clay Estate is hosting events this month as well as showcasing a special exhibit in honor of Black History Month. Alexa Minton stopped by the estate to get a preview of the plans.
Ashland is a place with rich history, and this month they are putting together events, tours, and even an exhibit for folks to celebrate Black History Month in Lexington. Jim Clark, the executive director of the Henry Clay Estate, says it's important that folks look at the site and acknowledge its complex history.
One of the fundamental reasons why we're doing this is Black history is American history.
Later this month on February 17th, they are hosting an African American genealogy workshop. The Henry Clay Memorial Foundation will partner with multiple organizations, including the African American Genealogy Group of Kentucky, to encourage folks to learn more about identifying and locating records essential to the documentation of Black genealogy.
That transcends all ethnic and racial barriers. People want to know where they came from. People want to know their own personal history.
In addition to the event, a special exhibit has been curated along with a date for open house tours, all to highlight the history of slavery at Ashland.
On Saturday, February 24, from 1 to 4 o'clock, we are doing an open house tour. And what makes that different from our regular Traces tour is that we're not only telling the stories of the enslaved that were here, but also those who were employed here after emancipation.
And while folks are encouraged to educate themselves on the legacy and time spent for the enslaved at the Clay Estate, Jim says this month they want to focus on more.
Our goal is to tell the story of the people, who they were as mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, you know, that it's their humanity that we're after.
In Lexington, Alexa Minton, WKYT.
When we return, Beyonce made some headlines yesterday after announcing her next album in the midst of the Super Bowl.
And weather-wise this morning, not too bad, dealing with some fog issues across the region, so that means it's a little slow out of the gates considering it's especially a Monday. But hey, how does the rest of the day shape up? Is there some heavy rain on the way? We'll let you know. The First Alert 7-day forecast is coming up right after this.